How do you hide an emergency fund for a crisis scenario? Maybe you want to cash it, bury it in your backyard, a bug out location or whatever. I'm going to show you right now. My name is Jason Hanson. I'm a former CIA officer, and I highly recommend having stuff stashed throughout your location. When I say your location, meaning to and from work, around work, your house, bug out location, you have them. And I do that because old habits die hard, and having that kind of stuff accessible, not all in your house, makes life easier. So heaven forbid, let's say maybe your house burns down and all your stuff is gone and you have no money. Well, now you have another financial stash, or maybe it's the good old government causing you problems and you need to go get money somewhere else. Hey, stuff happens, right? So what I'm going to show you is a super simple financial survival cache that anybody can make. Doesn't cost much at all. So what does it consist of? Well, first, PVC pipe. This is, can't remember, this is 1.5 inch. They make it up to 4 inches. Well, they make it bigger than that, but you can buy them in the pre-made of like 1.5 inches, 2 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches. A lot of times I do the 4 inches because you can put bigger stuff in there. But for our financial cache, we're just using this. And again, I can't remember what it is. 1.5 inches. Yes, it's 1.5 inches. So you need some of that, some PVC pipe. Next, you need to have a cap because we got to be able to cap our end here, which we'll do in a minute. We're going to build this whole thing from scratch. I'm going to show you the gold, the silver, and the money we're going to put in there. I need the adapter here so I can put it on this end. And then I need the screw cap because I want to be able to unscrew this and get to my money if, heaven forbid, there is a crisis situation and I need it. A few other things we need are, well, we need the PVC cement and the primer and all that to be able to secure our PVC pipe that we're building, and oxygen absorbers, can't even speak today, and then some Mylar bags. These Mylar bags I'm holding are like the food grade for survival food pouches. You can buy Mylar bags online. Anytime you're gonna bury something, I highly recommend you use a Mylar bag. I'll show you how we're gonna do that here. But let's see, let's get started. As far as what we're gonna bury, I got several $100s in 20s here. I got just a bunch of ones here, so not as much, but still. Several $100s to get me started. 1s and 20s, and then I just grabbed out of my safe because I have a lot of gold and silver. I recommend that everybody hold physical precious metals, hold in your hand precious metals, not that paper stuff that you can actually get to if you need it. So I grabbed, I think this, I believe, is some of my 1/4 ounce coin, gold coins. So still worth a fortune with today's gold prices. And I have several of those in here. So this is several $1,000s in gold. And then I don't even remember what's in this one. What ounce this one is. This is the
2,000 years later.
1/3 of silver. I'm just trying to see what was on there. The whale shark thing. Anyway, so silver coin here. Got a bunch of the silver coins. A lot of times I have smaller denominations, like the 1/4 ounce of gold, because it's better for bartering. And with gold prices obscenely high, I don't want to have to trade an ounce of gold, you know, $3,500, $4,000, whatever it is right now. But I don't want to have to trade an ounce of gold for something where I can have 1/4 ounce coins in smaller denominations, which is why I do that. So that's what we're gonna bury. Some gold, some silver, and some cashola. Okay, first, what we gotta do is gotta take our PVC pipe. Let me see, I'm gonna put this here so I can have this to make a mess. I'm gonna take some of my primer, brand new, as you can see. Man, I gave you that off.
A few years later.
All right, so it took me about 10 years to be able to get the lid off of this thing. I had to get some pliers, it was so tight. So first thing, as I said, we're gonna use the primer. We're going right on the end here of our PVC. So it just doesn't have to be pretty. Just get it all around there, yada, 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 yada. And then I'm gonna get my, let's see, what end do we wanna do first? Here, I'm gonna even go, we're gonna go on the inside of this too. Just get it all and see what I'm doing here. Nothing fancy, nothing pretty. Okay, after you prime it, you gotta go with the cement. So you could let it sit longer if you want, but I'm impatient and we're gonna put these in Mylar bags anyway. So now I'm gonna go to the cement here and I'm just going to lather this PVC cement all over so you can see. Put it here like this, get it all over. And then same thing, I'm gonna go on the inside here. Hold that up so I can actually hold it. Oh, as I drop, there we go. All right. Get some PVC cement on the inside here. Okay, once we do that, pop it on the end cap, smash it on the ground, make sure it's nice and tight. So there we go. Okay, step one. Pretty easy, right? So step two, we're gonna do the exact same thing, but now we're doing it for the adapter cap. The adapter cap's gonna go over here. So once again, I'm gonna get my primer, so you can see that there. I'm gonna go all around here, just like I did. I know everybody who's a perfectionist is losing their mind now because it ain't look pretty, but who cares? We're just building a very quick emergency survival financial cache. Okay, back here again, take the good old glue up on the inside, put that down for a second, take the glue again, go all over here, make sure it's all over. Yes, I'm dripping it everywhere. No, I don't care. All right, there we go. Make sure that is nice and tight. Okay, all right, so what have we just done? We built our world's simplest cache. Screw the plug on there. and then you can bury your stuff, and then you can get it out because you're gonna screw the plug. So let's bury some stuff. Yes, you could let this sit for 24 hours and all that kind of stuff, but now we're gonna move on to the Mylar bags. As I said earlier, when you are burying stuff, you wanna bury it in Mylar bags. Just go online, Amazon, wherever, search Mylar bags. They come in a variety of sizes. So you can buy giant Mylar bags if you're burying guns, such as a rifle, shotgun. You can get all sizes of Mylar bags. These are just some of the survival food pouches. So this one has not even been open used. I'm going to take, let's see how I wanna do this. For this one, I gotta make sure, because I bought these smaller 1.5 inch, so I gotta make sure it's gonna fit in there. Let's see, it's gonna be a tight fit. Well, we're not gonna take any of this money out here. We're gonna make sure, we're gonna force ourselves to get this tight fit. Now, oh, I almost forgot something as I was going too fast. Oxygen absorber packets. I recommend putting these in the Mylar bags. These are some brand new ones, so I gotta open it up right here. So I'm gonna cut that open. Anytime, I'm burying stuff, whether it's guns, whether it's financial related items, I'm always putting in just a few oxygen absorber packets. You don't have to put a ton in there. I mean, if you live in some place like Florida that is disgustingly humid and hot, then sure, you'd add more. But if you live out west in Utah, Nevada, whatever, where it's dry, you don't have to go crazy. So I'll just put a few of these in there in the Mylar bag. It really doesn't need that many, especially where I live in Utah. So we're gonna throw those in, then we're gonna seal it. Now, if you want to go overboard, oh, I forgot the glues there. If you want to go overboard and really seal this bad boy like crazy and not just rely on the seal here, get a hot iron, bend this over here and run that hot iron across the top right there. That's gonna seal it and do a very nice job of sealing if you don't wanna just rely on the seal of the stuff here. Now let me see, I left some air in there. Gonna get all the air out, Okay, so in here, I've got some cash. I have my oxygen absorbers. I've got it in my Mylar bag. Gonna have to shove this in since I bought the smaller 1.5 tube, but it fits. Obviously, to get it out, I'm gonna need a broom handle or something, or something to get it out here. Of course, I did glue this cap on. Well, guess what? I have saws. I can cut this off if I need to shove a broom handle to get it all the way out there. Okay, so there we go. So that is one. That's some money. Now we're gonna do the gold and silver. We'll do it the same way. That's enough. All right. Do that. We will put, actually, we're gonna put all those gold coins. All right, so we got several $1,000s worth here of gold and silver. I'm gonna do the exact same thing. I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna put it in my Mylar pouch. You can see it's Mylar. You can see the lining in there and all that kind of stuff. So these are the, as I said, these are the food grade ones. I'm gonna grab a couple of oxygen absorbers. I'm gonna throw it in there, and then I'm going to seal it, and then I'm gonna shove it in there. So we now have cash. We now have several $1,000s worth of gold coins, silver coins. And yes, I'm smashing this here. Remember, you can buy the 4-inch piece of PVC pipe, which I have. Like I said, I've used that to bury guns and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm gonna secure this very tightly. So that is it. It's not much. It doesn't take, I think the PVC was $15 to build. And of course, because right now I happen to be at one of my bug out locations, we're not just gonna waste this, we're gonna bury this. So let me go grab a shovel, I'll be right back. Now I am at a bug out location that is remote. Only my wife and immediate family members, kids, know where this is. So I'm not worried about burying it 10 feet deep and having someone come and hunt and look for this. This is a very not easy place to find, I'll put it that way, right? So do that. I'm also not worried about somebody walking by in here and saying like, huh, it looks like the earth has been disturbed, because I'm in a remote bug out location. Nobody comes out but me and my family. Anyways, that is how you can create a financial cache. Now you may say, hey Jason, you're absolutely crazy. That's nuts, so I'm never burying, gold, silver, cash, whatever. That's fine, but have an emergency stash somewhere. I think in this day and age, with the financial crisis we're in, you're absolutely out of your mind if you don't have emergency funds, if you don't have cash, gold, silver, all that kind of stuff, and don't have all of it at your house. As I said earlier, what if your house burns down? What if something happens you can't get to your house? If you don't want to bury it, I like storage units. Storage units, they're everywhere. They're inexpensive. You can hide stuff in your storage unit. Nobody's gonna be the wiser. Nobody's gonna know what unit number you have. But definitely get your financial house in order. Also, as I'm huffing and puffing and out of breath today, I've been sick. People always ask me, where do you get your gold and silver? I've checked 1,000,001 places. Way too many scammers. Found a company that I vetted called Advantage Gold. I met the owner, I met with him, interviewed him, trust him. I recommend my friends and family. So Again, it's Advantage Gold. Good guys. You can mention my name if you want or not. Doesn't matter to me. But go to goldprotects.com and buy gold and silver from them. That's who I use. And make sure, again, the reason I use them, it's physical, hold in your hand, gold and silver. No brainer these days. I think that's about it. Please, seriously, get some financial money, gold or cash, gold, silver, and have it. If you don't have an emergency fund these days, you're just rolling the dice. Okay, I'm former CIA officer Jason Hanson, and I'm gonna go inside because I have to do my super secret way to remember where I buried this tube. All right, adios.